Good afternoon. So good afternoon, everyone. We will start today's session. So we will see what happened in the past week and some of the major highlights or the issues that are trending news, so-called trending news. I'm sure that you have come across. So mostly we are overwhelmed in all these from past few days regarding election and all that. So political news aspects, that is what we see more of it. But sometimes we might overlook from the exams perspective. We'll have to look into it because we are drawn into where it is mostly seen everywhere in all the sources, right? So some of it you might have come across what we are discussing today, and some you can also supplement. You can have your supplement reading as well. So what is possible in this session, we will try to complete. Okay. So yes, we'll start with polity. So I have taken this topic of the concept of slap suits and injunctions, right? I don't know how many of you have come across this topic. Have you heard of this? Yes, slap suits and injunctions. I'm sure that you might have come across the concept of injunctions. On YouTube live, I don't know whether I can check the comments, but I'm sure if you can talk to me here, interact here, I can actually respond. So meanwhile, you can tell me, have you heard of the term injunctions, or what is it exactly? Let me open this as well. Yeah. No idea. Well, so this regarding this suit, this is a particular legal issue that a case or cases wherein this happens based on certain entities use it by filing a suit, or maybe a plaintiff, what we call, who files a petition in the court to restrict someone in terms of their freedom of speech and expression. So can you at least tell me what is the constitutional provision for speech and expression? Can we call it as a fundamental right? Right? Article 19, Section 1, subsection A. Right to, yes, Article 19, correct. So Article 19, right to, or right to express, right? Freedom of speech and expression, we say. So that is where we are linking in here. Okay, though it is the topic is different, and we are trying to relate it to the static part of it. Now let's look into this. What is the current issue now? Then we go to the static part. So slap suits, which is good afternoon to everybody who is joining as of now. Yes. So slap suits, it is a abbreviation. Before that, let's look into the news. I hope you can see the font and what is written over here. More than that, anyway, you will be receiving the PDF. I want you to understand the crux of the news, right? Yes. Supreme Court has cautioned against the grant of pre-trial injunctions to stop article publication, citing potential threats to freedom of speech for authors and public right to information. Now, there is a caution that has been brought against certain entities, wherein sometimes what happens, even before there is a publishing of an article or a video or any content online or maybe offline or a print media, wherever it is. So there is a concept wherein a person can bring in an injunction. Injunction is a warning. Injunction means, remember, it is warning, so that the order of the court has to be followed. If at all it is not followed, it will lead to contempt of court. Okay. So now the court has been cautioning, or it has cautioned, that grant of pre-trial injunction, wherein if I am an entity, I am a company owner, I'm asking or petitioning in the Supreme Court saying that someone is going to publish about something about the company or me. So I want an injunction order on them. So court is telling that there's a caution. telling that or cautioning that if at all this particular injunction order you want for curbing the freedom, right to freedom of speech and expression, then that is not possible. We are going to review the trial or review the injunction whatsoever. This is the news. Hope you got the news. Now, it has alerted the courts because lower courts also. Recently, I came across a video wherein most of the times when it comes to granting bail or not granting bail or any such issues, what happens, what is brought at the lower courts, usually that will be transferred to higher court. And we know this, the very legacy of long due pendency of cases in the Supreme Court, right? That is one of the issues, if you consider a legal issue, right? Though we have various special courts, tribunals for various provisions, that is what we have in India, yet there is long due pendency. And today, one person that is making all of news in India is our CJI, Chief Justice of India, right? I'm sure that you might have come across various remarks, various citations or comments or speech or whatsoever, right? So today there is a revival we can see wherein the very role of Supreme Court is very much highlighted these days. Anyway, coming back to my example, I was just telling, so there is a burden, there is a pressure on lower courts. So judges or lawyers do not want to take the risk of dealing with big shots. So what they do is simply they will transfer to Supreme Court. That is your headache. Anyway, highest apex court is Supreme Court. You take it. So maybe the non-functioning of the court is also actually making the Supreme Court come up with these cautions, we can say. We are just trying to understand the analytical part of it, right? So this is the first line. Then it has alerted the courts, as I'm telling, the lower courts we are talking about, to the use of slap suits by powerful economic entities to silence media members or civil society and impede public participation in significant public interest matters. So there is an alerting of the courts also. It has not only cautioned, just a minute. Okay, it has not only cautioned the the courts, the people in general, but also alert the courts simply not to use the slap suits where powerful economic entities, in the sense we are talking about the corporates here, the companies, in order to silence the media. That should not be done. Maybe it is remotely somewhere not so relevant to the exam or something, but what we see in our daily life, this awareness one should have. Okay, so slap suits stands for strategic litigation against public participation. Public does something and there is a litigation against it, that is called a slap suits. Kind of slap only, you can say, so you can remember easily. So these are the legal actions initiated by entities like corporations or individuals to intimidate or silence critics, often activists, journalists, or members of the public, by subjecting them to expensive legal proceedings. Now, it is like we usually use this term also. Supreme Court or the court slapped the thousands of crores on this entity. Slapping in the sense, what for us, we know what is slapping. Slapping under Guttunam. So this is also kind of a big slap wherein, okay, stop it. You cannot criticize me. You cannot bring any remarks like this in the public against me or against my company. So a defamation suit. Hope you are familiar with this word defamation or libel, we say L-I-B-E-L, libel, or defamation, we say. So this is almost related to that, but in terms of speech and expression. Yes. So this is the concept of slap suits, right? So what they do is they will actually penalize, or they'll ask the court to slap with the fine wherein they have brought this defaming of that particular company or an individual, and they are supposed to pay the fine. This happens. Okay. So for instance, in 2000, I'll also bring up one more, the same related one here, the instance of Tata Group, right? In 2000, the Tata Group filed a slap suit against environmental activist Dr. Claude Alvarez and others after they published a book criticizing the company's activities. there is one more case with Tata, kind of very funny or maybe quite interesting also. This is one example I'm giving you. So that there was a book which criticized the company's activities, saying that because we know that environmental activist means a Tata company might have done something that is bringing harm to environment. So adikoskara Tata used this lab suit against this environmental activist. One such example. Hope you got the concept. Now let me tell you one more example of what do you call as Tata itself. So this you might have heard about this Greenpeace International. Greenpeace International, right? A global environmental organization. So Tata Sons Unlimited. This case is what do you call Tata Sons Limited versus Greenpeace International, right? So there was a decree, there was an order wherein long back Supreme Court has said that because of some what do you call a criticism, a critic of critical role of Greenpeace International, it has made the Tata company to be defamed, or it has caused libel on the company, right? So it went to get an order to compensate these damages of what do you call as extent of 10 crores against this company in terms of defamation, and they also allege that Greenpeace International is trying to, the ulterior motive of them is to damage the reputation of the company, and this has to be brought down. Now, what happened exactly? I'll tell you. So the plaintiff in the sense, those who filed the suit or the case, that in this case it is Tata. Okay, so made an basically the defendants. Now the defendant is Greenpeace International, and the plaintiff is Tata. So the Tata Sons Limited claimed that, or blamed that this Greenpeace International brought an online game. The name itself is called as Turtle versus Tata. Okay, Turtle versus Tata. Now it is a game wherein there are instructions, certain instructions which says that the aim of this colorful and noisy video game is to help. There will be certain turtles, because Greenpeace is regarding environment, so they have a turtle, little turtles. They should be eating. I'm just imagine this. Okay, I'm just animation part. I'm just telling you. So there's a yellow turtle which is moving forward, wherein it has to eat all yellow dots, something like that. So there will be a what do you call as an obstacle for ಅದೊಂದು ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಈ ಗೇಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಆಟ ಆಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿರ್ಬೋದು. So there will be like a demon or something else that will obstruct the movement of the what do you call as the main player. So here that particular obstacle was Tata. You're getting the creative idea of in wherein that is when the Tata was offended and said that it is defamation case, right? So the name of the Tata or that obstacle was called as Ratty, presumably mean Ratan Tata. So this became a major issue long back. And what happened after that? The defendants contended that here this was a global organization consistently trying for what you call as tackling environmental issues. So they have just tried out wherein to give an awareness about it, and it is a creative content and nothing to do with the company. And what happened when it came to the Supreme Court, when it happened, and it was actually filed in Delhi High Court. So the what do you call as the application filed by the plaintiff, that is Tata, was dismissed that if it cannot take up this and there is nothing can be done about it, because it actually what do you call as curb the very value of free speech, and it would make a what do you call as a catalyzing effect on public debate. Just because some random, and doesn't mean that okay, this is the only person we have seen. See, when it comes to a political remarks, we have something called as anti-sedition against government or something. When it comes to companies, we have this slap suit. Hope you're getting the idea. So this is not the only example we are talking about. I just gave you a very popular example, a popular company, so that you get an idea about what are slap suits. Now, let's go back to the current condition. What did Supreme Court said? It has cautioned, not simply granting anybody and everybody, that will actually infringe, or what do you call as not infringe, okay, curb the very fundamental right. So The static part would be for you to go and read Article 19 again. Nowhere in the entire article it is mentioned about, okay, we have to focus on Article 19, but it is default, it is understood. By this point of time in all your preparations, I'm sure that you're getting the point. Let the news be anything else. This is what you have to study about. Okay, so this is about slab suits. Let us also look into injunctions. Why this thing came recently, though there are very old issues over there. So recent thing is the court overturned injunctions against Bloomberg Television Services India Private Limited, emphasizing the necessity to balance free speech rights with concerns regarding reputation in defamation cases. So there was a case against injunction against a television company channel, that is Bloomberg Television Service India Private Limited. So overturned the injunctions. There should not be any warning that has to be given. It is fine. It's a free country. It's a democratic country, what we call. And under the constitution, there is something called as free speech, freedom of speech and expression. So this will not lead to defamation. So there is a thin line wherein when it comes to a creative content, when giving an awareness to the public and speaking of defamation. So that is how actually the Supreme Court does a great job by interpreting the law. Right? Yes, the court raised concerns about the potential misuse. So entities are misusing it. Even before it is published, pre-trial injunctions. Nothing is been discussed about. Injunctions are brought in to suppress public discourse and stress the need for extreme caution when granting such injunctions. Okay, you can give. Doesn't mean that nobody should be given injunctions. You can blabber whatever you want. That is also not there. But make sure that an extremely required caution has to be taken in order to take up this injunction part. So let us understand what are injunctions, just to brief it up. In India, injunctions are legal measures utilized to prevent a party from engaging in specific action. Injunction is a common term, okay, such as intellectual property, infringement or breaches of contract. So this order will be brought first itself, so that the person makes sure that the person is not violating or going against the law or the contract or agreement. So they are court orders compelling a party to either carry out or refrain from certain actions and play a crucial role in legal disputes. So these are the court orders, make the party so that you carry out this order, or maybe there is an order, refrain from it. So supervision or monitoring is done by an individual or a company. So violating an injunction can result in charges of contempt of court. That is a different concept altogether. You might have heard. Contempt of court is a different thing. Again, it is a very serious issue in India. So again, bailable, non-bailable, it depends upon the intensity of the case. Yet infringement, going against infringement is contempt of court. Remember that point. Very important. Ex parte injunctions issued without hearing from the opposing party are granted in emergency situations to prevent irreparable harm. So there is a word called as ex parte injunctions here. Sometimes what happens, there is a plaintiff and a defendant, and the defendant is not attending the court sessions, but the plaintiff's plea is, it has to be done. Maybe it is related to health, it may be related to a child, it may be a divorce, it may be anything. Certain times there is a urgency in such matters wherein the court cannot delay. So there is an option called as ex parte, wherein even without hearing the opposing party, injunctions can be given. So the court will not wait. Let them also come, then we will decide. What if this person dies? What if this person is having a very severe illness? Right. So it is not that always there is audio alterum, we say, in the sense you hear the other party also, that is also there. But there is also one more provision called as ex parte. So these are the aspects when it comes to injunction. This is a basic awareness you should have. Yes, it is. It can be related to exam. Even beyond that, being an aspirant or being all of you being aspirants, you should be knowing this, right? So this is from polity, and rest all are the intervention of the Supreme Court in electoral bonds and election and the comments and remarks. I'm sure that you might have come across. So I've taken this one from the polity part. Okay. Hope you're following. You're getting my point. Artha agilla andre keli. Okay. Yes. Yes, Article 19, Section 2 will allow state to impose reasonable restrictions. That is also there. That is where it has to be balanced. Correct? Yes. Now we will move on to history. Chalukyas of Kalyani. I don't know. Maybe you also have been. You're observing in the from past few months. We are coming across a lot of things about Chalukyas. Whether it is Chalukyas of Vatapi, Badami, Kalyani, right? Vengi, all these basically Chalukyan dynasty will be very important topic in the upcoming exam. I'm just telling you, and keep a tab on it. From the KPSC perspective, if most of you will be writing KPSC as well, make sure that you look into this part specifically. Okay, Chalukyas, if I'm not wrong, in the past few classes also we have discussed certain topics on Chalukyas. That is the reason. So go to the static part of it. Let's look into the news, because in the news, usually inscriptions, right? Inscriptions, or maybe any artifacts and all that. But let's look into the static part. So anyway, we will look into the news here. So a 900-year-old Kannada inscription, again, that is again important, from the Kalyana Chalukya dynasty or Chalukyas of Kalyani, has been found in a state of utter neglect at Gangapuram, a temple town in Jadcherla Mandal in Mahbub Nagar district. In Telangana, we are talking about, right? So this was found recently. Inscription was found, and it was with disregard or maybe a neglect, we can say. This was recently discovered. Now, archaeologists found it near a temple during a heritage preservation campaign. There was a campaign that was going on, so archaeologists found it here. And the inscription dated June 8th, 1134 century. So records, or 12th century, we can say, records toll tax remission for a temple lamp. So inscriptions under inscriptions usually they'll be related, maybe the achievements of the king, or maybe an order or a dictum to the people, or maybe something related to market measures or tax or administration, etc. So likewise, here also we have an inscription which records, or which where it is read that it was deciphered that a tax remission for a temple lamp ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು inscription ಇದು. Tax na remit ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ temple lamp ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಇದು news. This is for our understanding and awareness. So what are the basic things we have to go? We have to look into the factual or the historical perspective of Chalukyas of Kalyani. Anyway, you have to read on your own. As we are discussing about this, let's have a look at it. Okay, Kalyani Chalukyas or Chalukyas of Kalyani. So we know that Chalukyas means there are 3 branches. I hope you can see the font. If you want me to zoom it, I can do. Okay. So the Chalukyas ruled the central Indian plateau of Deccan. Basically, Deccan was the main region we can say, and the timeline was 6th to 12th century. Why we need this basic information? If we have this basic information, the logical deductions in the questions or the answers will be easier, right? So when you can deduct, okay, I already know, I'm very sure that Chalukyas, our timeline is so and so, if this option will not match. So some factual information, no matter what, you cannot ignore it. You have to try to remember. Okay, so the dynasty comprised 3 main branches, that is Chalukyas of Badami, Vatapi is also, it is called Chalukyas of Kalyani, and Chalukyas of Vengi. So eastern, western, and Badami, central, we can say, right? Kalyani, here we are talking about western Chalukyas. So the western Chalukya empire, also known as Kalyani Chalukyas, governed the western Deccan and South India from 10th to 12th century, we can say. So 12th century is what the ultimate timeline. Now, as we are focusing only on this, the other 2 I'll give it to you, because in the previous sessions we have discussed Chalukyas of Badami also, again regarding some temple or inscription as such. So anyway, so they were primarily a Kannadiga dynasty with their capital at Kalyani in Bidar, modern day Bidar. So we can say it is a Kannadiga dynasty, where taking the region where they have ruled, right? You can see the map here also. We're talking about this western Chalukyas, this region. not the entire Maharashtra as such, at least in Karnataka, Andhra, this region, right? So, why they are called as Western Chalukyas? The western part of the Deccan region. It's a Western Chalukyas. Now, the other info, apart from that, founded by Tailapa II during Rashtrakuta rule, where they defeated the Rashtrakutas in 973. So under Vikramaditya VI, they reached their peak during Chalukya Vikrama era. We have Vikrama era, again we have discussed that in the previous class. So under Vikramaditya VI, or maybe we can remember Chalukyas of Kalyani, Vikramaditya VI was the prominent ruler. He was a prominent ruler. So expanded their territory by defeating the Cholas, and because we can say they were contemporaries also down south, they were Cholas, right? They expanded their territory down south, and I mean, in the sense, not actually destroying Chola region or something, but that part wherein gaining vast lands from Kaveri River to Narmada River, wherever they are ruling in that region, particular region. So administration was hereditary, with power passing to a male heir or brother, while feudatories managed territories. There were feudatories also. And they mint punch-marked gold coins called as pagodas with Kannada legends. This might be important. The gold coins, which are called as pagodas. This you might have to keep in mind. And they are known for their contributions when it comes to literature, Kannada and Telugu literature. I have taken the very brief part of the entire dynasty, okay, for you to just to revise, kind of a revision. But again, you have to go a very deeper part into it, what you have studied in your classroom and also from your materials, okay. So their architecture bridged the gap between Badami Chalukya and Hoysala architecture, with notable temples like Mallikarjuna Temple of Bellary and Siddheshwara Temple in Haveri. Because when we say their capital was in North Karnataka, modern day Bidar, we are talking about the architectural monuments or the temples whatsoever in the North Karnataka region. Remember this, okay? Temples. I'm sure to this detail in UPSC will not be asked, but I'm sure that Chalukyas are repetitively seen about them, or the peripheral aspects of Chalukyas in general should be concentrated upon, okay? So this is what we have in terms of it. We know the news is very simple regarding the inscription, but revision has to be done. So we will move on to cultural part, art and culture. I've considered this as culture. So Gulal Gota, I don't know whether you have heard of it, but why this was considered from the art and cultural aspect? Because of the recent, one is the recent Holi we celebrated, and the other thing is it has some historical significance also, and you may never know where the question comes from, and there is a community name also that is being given here. So that's the reason, and moreover, it was in Indian Express under cultural aspect, I mean the topic. So we are discussing about this, okay? So there is a traditional celebration with Gulal Gota when it comes to Holi. And apart from that, regarding the eco-friendly methods or the eco-friendly way of celebrating festivals. Today, celebrating festivals are made even more easier. All the ready-made, right? Ready-made things is everything is set. Only thing is we have to arrange and celebrate, eat, over, done. But that was not the case when it comes from the cultural significance, cultural aspects of India. Indiaದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಬ್ಬಗಳನ್ನ ಆಚರಿಸ್ತಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನಾವು ಆಚರಿಸ್ತಿದ್ವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಹಬ್ಬನ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ, ವಿ ವರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಸ್ಕ್ರಾಚ್. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಅದು ಏನಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ದ ಫುಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ, ಆರ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ದ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್, ಆರ್ decoration ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ we were doing it from the scratch. It was not found in the market or somewhere. But today everything is there. But there is also a concern. ಇದು ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಬಹುದು, ನೀವು ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೋಬಹುದು. There is also a concern regarding what kind of materials are we using it. So Holi, I'm sure that some of you or all of you might have celebrated. We use colors, right? Yes, there are eco-friendly colors and synthetic natural dyes na ತಗೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. We are not actually, especially in the cities, we are not going back, okay, we will go fetch it and make it and we will play with it now. And mostly what kind of things we are using? We use maybe, you must be telling it. How did you celebrate your Holi? You tell me. Yes, you might use balloons. right? You might use balloons or maybe some other plastic items to spray upon, or synthetic colors and all that. Ultimately, it takes a toll on environment. Sometimes it is a health concern also. So that is when these, what do you call as words, these concepts which are long forgotten come to light. Not long forgotten, I would say that they are already, I mean, it is already there in what do you call as, in Rajasthan. It is confined to Rajasthan, not more very popular all over India, but still it matters. So let's look into it. So in certain areas of Jaipur, Rajasthan, a centuries old tradition known as Gulal Gota will be observed, dating back approximately 400 years. It's a very old tradition. Instead of using balloons, colors will be thrown through this unique medium during the festivities. So there is no throwing of balloons. Again, balloons end up in the environment, and again degradation and all that. So this is it. So Gulal Gota is a small ball crafted from lac. Lac is a forest produce. Lac is a resin, okay, containing dry gulal inside. Weighing approximately 20 grams when filled. These balls are thrown during Holi festivities, breaking upon impact. So there will be no harm also, no fight also. Basically, it is, so the festivities or festivals are to celebrate and enjoy, not to torture someone. So it is understood here. So according to local artisans, crafting Gulal Gotas begins with boiling lac in water to achieve flexibility. Lac, a resinous substance secreted by specific insects. You might have heard about lac bangles. Lac bangles, it is a resin. It is a forest produce, we can say, is also utilized in making bangles, right? So this has been used. It is collected by specific insects. So one thing is, insects will be killed. Doesn't mean that it is making a great harm to the environment. Anyway, that will reproduce and they will regenerate and all that. But when you go by the, what do you call us, the way it is done, that is questionable. But it do not make a very significant impact on the environment by killing these insects as such. So lac is collected likewise. So lac is the main ingredient. You can see the colors here. So these are the dry, eco-friendly colored powder. So the main ingredient for crafting Gulal Gota is procured from Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand. Though it is done in somewhere in Rajasthan, can you connect this thing? How or why they are collecting this lac from Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand? Anything you can connect with? Yes. How come they are collecting this from Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand? Why these two specific places? Because lac is a forest produce. And Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand, we have tribes, scheduled tribes or other traditional forest dwellers who are earning their livelihood by collecting lac, because that earns an income. So here there is, what do you call as, there are people who collect it, and this is where it is, what do you call it, transported from. That is by Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand. So Gulal Gotas are created by Muslim lac artisans known as Manihars in Jaipur. They acquired the art of lac making from Hindu artisans in Bagru, situated near Jaipur. Bagru art, you also might have heard. Now this is purely art and culture topic, because maybe the terminologies, Manihars or Bagru block printing technique of Rajasthan. So somewhere you'll be listening to words, certain words, but you should be very accurate. You should be very sure that where is this connecting to, which place. Okay. Manihars. These are the community who are Muslim lac artisans who make this. There is a very old tradition. They are doing it. And they acquired this art. Where did they acquire this art from? The Hindu artisans of Jaipur who are in Bagru. And there is also one more art form. I mean, what do you call as? The block printing technique called as Bagru. Bagru silks, saris and all the textiles and all that. Jaipur. So these are the two takeaways, facts you are learning here. Historical ಮತ್ತು economic significance ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ, established in 1727 by Savai Jai Singh II, where Jaipur is already known for its rich culture. So this particular concept was, or maybe the patronized or the patron of all these artisans was Savai Jai Singh II by then. One lane at the Tripolia Bazaar named Maniharon Ka Rasta is dedicated to Manihar community. There is a bazaar wherein that is exclusive for these people who make this, okay, what do you call as balls for the Holi. So this lane serves as a central marketplace for selling lakh bangles, jewelry, gulal, gota, preserving the city's artistic heritage. What happens is, nimge Bharat Darshan athwa Labasana Code, you visit various places for maybe training or maybe for some, what do you call as, campaign or whatsoever. So why should we learn? There is always a question, why should we learn all this and all that? Because the very idea is you will be placed, you will be posted anywhere, right? And also the connectivity between the two states, between the two different places, because it is not that, oh, I come from this state, I do good only for my state. No, it is when you just join the service, all the places are same to you. You should be understanding the local culture, local aspects, local sensitivities of that particular region. In that way, these topics help you out. Getting it? So, in the past, during Holi, kings would ride elephants through the city and distribute gulal gotas to the public. Additionally, the royal family used to order gulal gota for festival directly from its palace. So, this is the historical and economic significance. It does have some demand in Jaipur and during Holi, yes. But currently, the very tradition of this gulal, making of gulal gota is declining, though there is some importance given by the Rajasthan government, by the state government itself. So there is nobody to take care or take forward this art form, because the younger generation, youngsters, they don't want to end up with this making of gulal goti sitting in the market. So obviously they they are in search of the blue collar jobs. So slowly it might decline also. Once after some years or few years, you might also see news that the very art of gulal gota is declining. As of now, nothing. You might see that. Okay. So this is the crux of this news. So in the last week, what we had regarding this. So need not actually break your head on this, just to have an awareness. You may never know. So the takeaway should be a Bagru. Remember that Bagru printing or Bagru block or technique. Get back to your art and culture notes or whatever it is, look into it. In Jaipur or in Rajasthan, what all we have. Then Manihars, the community, who are the lakh artisans, okay, irrespective of their religion. So we will move on to the geography part here. Bunny Plains was in news. So we are talking about Gujarat now. Bunny grassland, you might have heard, right? Asia's one of the finest grassland long back. Today it is, yes, it is a grassland still, but also threatened with invasive alien species. Can you mention that invasive alien species, which is in Bunny grassland, if you remember? Anybody? Prosopis julifera, kelidira? Some of you, where we have discussed this, I don't know. Prosopis julifera is an invasive alien species. Have you heard of it? Which is prominent or predominant in Bunny grassland. Okay, fine. So, so what is the news? Let's see. We have brought this under geography. So this 1.8 kilometer mysterious crater in Gujarat is the result of an asteroid impact. ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ಈ ಕ್ರೇಟರ್ ನ ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ, it was already there, but they were finding out ಹೇಗೆ ಈ ಕ್ರೇಟರ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಥವಾ ಏನ್ ಕಾರಣ, ಇದ್ರದ್ದು ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಏನು, ಇದು ಯಾವ್ದು ಏನಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. What is the crater? It is a large depression, a sinkhole, wherein it is because of some geological changes or maybe meteorological changes, we may never know. But there was something in Gujarat near the Bunny Plains, a large crater that was formed, a deep depression was formed, right? Recently, there was a news regarding, they have found out what is it exactly. It is because of the asteroid impact. Why we are focusing on it is an asteroid impact, because as Gujarat, Rajasthan, Pakistan, all this region, this entire region is known for what historically? Harappa, Indus Valley civilization, right? Harappan civilization, basically. So, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನೆಲ್ಲ archaeological findings ಆಯ್ತು, maybe the in Harappa Mohenjo-daro the Great Bath ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ certain places in Rajasthan and Gujarat, Kalibangan in Rajasthan or Lothal and all this. So this is the place wherein it draws archaeologists in order to understand better about the civilization. So idu ಒಂದು ಅದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಒಂದು ಬಿಲೀಫ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಲೂನಾ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಂತ ಬೇರೆ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅದರದ್ದು ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್, ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಈ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಲುಕ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಇಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಎಸ್, then we'll talk about Bunny. So scientists confirmed the colossal 1.8 kilometer wide crater in Gujarat's Kutch region resulted from a monumental asteroid crash known as the Luna structure. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಲೂನಾ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರಿತ್ತು. ಈಗ ಲೂನಾ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ವರ್ಡ್ ಅಥವಾ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿಕಲ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಲೂನಾ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ anything similar sounding word you can bring up here? Luni, river Luni kelidira. Where does it flow, river Luni? Yes, you have to tell me if or else it will be like a monologue. I'll be talking and I don't know whether you are sitting on the other side. I mean, river Luni, Luni, where does it flow? I'm just keeping it open both on YouTube as well as Zoom. Thar Desert, Rajasthan. Rajasthan, one of the major rivers. But where does it drain? It actually flows in Rajasthan and drains near Kutch. Okay. ಸೊ ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ನಾನು ಹಿಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ನೀವು ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಆ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಸೌಂಡಿಂಗ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಲೂನಾ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್, ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಹಿಸ್ಟಾರಿಕಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಥವಾ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿಕಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ಯಾ ಅಂತ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ದೆನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ವೆನ್ ಯು ಡೂ ಇಟ್, ಫಾರ್ ಯು it is very easy to what do you call run of Kutch. Easy to remember, connect. So ನಾನು ಓದ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ನಾನು ಕಲಿತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ರಿಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. ಸೊ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಮಿ, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ಯು ಲರ್ನ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಟೂ ಮಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ರಾಮಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್, ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ದಟ್, ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ anxiety in the exam hall, you'll forget. But when you learn in a way where you connect and learn, you will definitely remember. Okay, that's why I gave you this. Anyway, so ಇದನ್ನ ಲೂನಾ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. We do not know. We thought that it is okay. It is linked to Harappan civilization ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಬೋದು. But it is revealed it's an asteroid crash. Okay, asteroid crash. So in-depth analysis reveals the impact was triggered by a massive iron-rich object. So tell me, what are asteroids? Where do we have asteroid belts or a belt? Sorry, asteroid belt. Ellide? Asteroid belt between, what are asteroids? These are rocky objects that move in the space, right? Where exactly we have it? Between Jupiter and Mars, right? So once in a while, there are maybe of 1,000, 10,000, so many years, once in many years, there can be an asteroid collision or crash on any part of the earth. It might be a big boulder, it may be a small pebble also. We may never know. Anything can fall on earth. But unless it is very huge or intense, only then now we are able to identify, okay, the path of the asteroid and all that. But this is it. Okay. So ಈಗ asteroid crash ಅಂದ್ರೆ asteroid crash ಅಂತ ಅಂದಾಗ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು outer space material, the space object, when it ends up on earth, we will look into what is it made up of, because puna ecology connect ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ we are all made up of same elements. So obviously the same element will be there. So it is a iron rich object ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಹರಪ್ಪ ಸಿವಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ iron rich object. ಸೊ ಇದೊಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕ್ರೇಟರ್ ಇದೆ. ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಟು ಮೊಹೆಂಜೊದಾರೋ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಬಾತ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅನ್ಲೆಸ್ there is a further explorations. Okay, as of now. And how do they do it? One more topic, very important thing. How do they do it? Using radiocarbon dating techniques. Radiocarbon ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಡೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷದ ಹಳೇದಿದು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. So in-depth analysis reveals it was triggered by massive iron-rich object. The landscape underwent significant reshaping due to the impact. E impact in the actually ali bari crater matra create agilla. Landscape significantly change agide. Maybe the grasslands on one side, the region, the very rift on the one side, and Gujarat, it is also near Bhuj area. Bhuj area anta andre nimge ಏನು connect ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? Tell me, what do you connect when we say Bhuj area of Gujarat? Bhuj anta ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ Gujarat, BHUG. ಏನಪ್ಪ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? Tell me. Eating a aloo bhujia. Bhuj earthquake, right? Bhuj earthquake. So this is adjacent to that area also. So ಒಂದು asteroidal collision ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ಕೇಪ್ ನ ಅಂತ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ. ವೈ ಆರ್ ವಿ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್? ವೈ ಆರ್ ವಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್? ರೈಟ್, ವೈ ಆರ್ ವಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸಿಂಗ್? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಬನ್ನಿ ಪ್ಲೇನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲನು ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ಸೀನ್ ಇನ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್. ಸೊ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಆಸ್ಟೆರಾಯ್ಡ್ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಬನ್ನಿ ಪ್ಲೇನ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಕಚ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಆಸ್ಕ್ಡ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್. ಓಕೆ. So layers of ancient plant remains buried beneath the impact debris were dated back approximately 6,905 years using radiocarbon dating techniques. One more thing to remember. Can we conduct radiocarbon dating technique on stones, meteorites or asteroids or whatever? Radiocarbon yadr mel madbodu? Ee technique na ನಾವು yadr mel ಬಳಸಬಹುದು? Can you tell me? ಈಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಹಳೇದು ಈ ಜಾಗ ಅಥವಾ ಈ ವಸ್ತು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಹೇಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು? ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ರಿಮೇನ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಬರಿ. ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿ ಡೂ ಇಟ್? ಓಕೆ, ಎಸ್, ಯೂಸ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಸೇ ಎಸ್. ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ನ ನಾವು ಫಾಸಿಲ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಫಾಸಿಲ್ ಅದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಹಳೇದು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಡನ್ ಆನ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಫಾಸಿಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ which was living and then dead. ಸ್ಟೋನ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. It is non-living. Radiocarbon, yes, carbon is present there, but carbon, we are talking about the organic content here. Okay, idanna nanu relate plant and human remains, exactly, basically living dead remains or dead remains. And the dead remains andre once it was which was living. We cannot do it on stones, we cannot do it on anything abiotic, anything non-living. ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಗ್ಯಾನ್ವಾಪಿ ಮಾಸ್ಕ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಇದ್ದಾಗ, ಸೊ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಶಿವಲಿಂಗ ಆರ್ ಹೌ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದಾಗ ದೇ ಸೆಡ್ ಓಕೆ ನಾವು ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಸೂಟ್ ದೇ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಕಾಲ್ ಎಸ್ ಫೈಲ್ಡ್ ಸೂಟ್. ಬಟ್ ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕಲಿ ಸ್ಪೀಕಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಅಪ್ ದಿಸ್ ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಅ ಸ್ಟೋನ್. With all due respect to the religious beliefs, I'm just telling you, you cannot come to an accurate conclusion, because unless there was something kind of this dead remains of plant remains or animal remains or whatsoever. Please keep that in mind. Radiocarbon dating technique idral namge hege gottaytu? Because there was plant remain buried under this impact or the crater. Adakoskara ishtu haledu idu anta namge gottagide. Please keep that in mind. Okay, just reminding you. So this is about asteroid and ಕಂಡಿಡಿದರೆ ಈಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ. ಮುಂದೆ ನೋಡೋಣ what all we will we can what do you call us we will come across. So this let's look into the map now. As I told you, you can look into the map. This is Bunny Plain here, Bunny grasslands, and we have this great run, Gulf of Kutch, little run. So run of Kutch anta heltivi navu. Ee jagana entire jagana run of Kutch anta heltivi. Run of Kutch is also a biosphere reserve, a major prominent biodiversity area. Okay, look at the map. Try to look at the map while I speak. Maybe the picture memory helps you to remember things. Okay, so we have Bunny Plain, that is we are talking about the grasslands as the plain here. We have the Kutch region. You can see the Bhuj region. We have this little run of Kutch here. Yes, it's been shared. PDF ella latest tanka share agide ankodತೀನಿ ನಾನು. Okay, so we have Bunny Plain, Great Run, Little Run of Kutch, Gulf of Kutch. So this here, actually this region, when you see this entire region, when you see, it is the region wherein known for Harappan civilization. Adikke it was misinterpreted. Okay, idu Harappa related ಏನು ಇರಬಹುದು ಅಂತ. Share ಆಗಿಲ್ವಾ? It is shared. I have shared everything. Please do ask once again. Okay. App ಅಲ್ಲಿ upload ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳಿ. ಎಲ್ಲ notes share ಆಗಿದೆ. You can look into it. So, coming back to this, let's look into the key points first. The lunar structure is located within the low-lying Banni plains of the Kutch Basin. You can see this Kutch mainland fault here, mainland fault. So that is when Bhuj area, ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ Bhuj ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು connect ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, earthquake. There is a fault region in there. Obviously, faults ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, opening up, cracking up ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, it is prone to, what do you call, earthquake. Correct. So yes, coming to it. So it remains submerged and inaccessible for much of the year due to its geographical location. ಯಾಕೆ ಅದು inaccessible ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಕಚ್ ಬೇಸಿನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is closer to sea. Sea water ingression, sea water intrusion ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ. So it is especially inaccessible for much of the year. So field investigation conducted from 2009 to 2022 highlighted challenges in sample collection. Sample collection was not very easy when it comes to this particular region. So these challenges were primarily due to formidable quaternary sediments within the structure. ಎಷ್ಟು sedimentation ಆಗಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ because of the it is near to the sea. So sediments ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಿಮಗೆ lower layer of soil ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, sample ನ collect ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. That is why it took so many years. So further scrutiny of the rocks surrounding lunar structure unearthed the presence of elements synonymous with extraterrestrial origins, including rhodium, palladium, osmium, iridium, platinum. Extraterrestrial anta ನಾವು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ somewhere from the space it has end up here. It should be ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು extraterrestrial ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ obviously come from some elsewhere ಅಲ್ವಾ? Aliens there or not there, it is a binary. Let us leave it aside. But beyond that, ಈ elements ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ what is the possibility? What are the possibilities? In meteorites, asteroids, adinda matra sadhya. So that is where the conclusion comes in. Okay, in Banni region. Speaking of which, idina ishtu ನಾವು ಏನು recent excavations, very recent archaeological findings ಅನ್ನ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬಹುದು. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಬನ್ನಿ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಬನ್ನಿ ರೀಜನ್ ಯಾಕೆ ನಾವು ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ there are many things regarding this region. So if you see the region Great Run, right, it borders with Pakistan. We have a strategic border. Sir Creek anta baruttale, Sir Creek, right? So how for us, whether it is China, Indo-China border in Arunachal, Tibetan border, Pakistan Kashmir border, ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್, ಈ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕಲಿ ಆಸ್ ವೆಲ್ ಆಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿಕಲಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕಲಿ? ಸರ್ ಕ್ರೀಕ್, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಮಾರ್ಷಿ ರೀಜನ್. ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ರನ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಮಾರ್ಷಿ ರೀಜನ್. ಸಾಲ್ಟ್ ಮಾರ್ಷ್ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಸೋ ಡೀಪ್. ಸೊ our Indian army is day and night, it is what you call as positioned there, and they march upon because it is a very potential source of it has a very rich source of natural gas. So we are not safeguarding not only for the strategic importance, but also it is what do you call as the potentiality of the natural gas over there. Economically also this matters. ಅದೊಂದು ವಿಷಯಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಬನ್ನಿ ಪ್ಲೇನ್ಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು, ಆ ಜಾಗ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. Apart from that, ecologically speaking, ಈಗ ನಾವು ಲಿಟಲ್ ರನ್ ಅಂತ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಲಿಟಲ್ ರನ್, the entire run region we are talking about. Little run of Kutch ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ we have to relate it to one prominent animal over there. Which is that? Can you tell me? Little run of Kutch ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ಯಾವ್ದು ನೀವು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು? ಆ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ can you connect to anything? Caracal mammal. Caracal, the cat, wild cat. Okay, accepted. Rajasthan border, Gujarat alli nam nodabodu. Apart from that, little run is known for one particular species over there. Adra mele we have we have camel also in Gulf of Kutch, wherein GB, very good. Great Indian Bustard ide, good. Then Kutch sanctuary ide, so haudu. Little run of Kutch is also known for Indian wild ass, wild donkey. ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಲಿಟಲ್ ರನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಚ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್, ಡಾಂಕಿ. ಒಂದು ಜಾಗದ ಹೆಸರು ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ you have to try to connect this. All this what you said is right, but the prominent one is that one. Okay, so ಅದ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಈಗ ಬನ್ನಿ ಪ್ಲೇನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ, ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ರನ್ ಆರ್ ಬನ್ನಿ ಪ್ಲೇನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ we are talking about the grassland. ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದಾಗ the Gujarat government, in tandem with the central government initiatives of introducing cheetahs in India, Bunny grassland is also being identified to reintroduce cheetah over here. Because grassland again, grassland is the main ecosystem for what you call as cheetahs. So, idu ಒಂದು prominent region ಆಗಿ consider ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದು important. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು we have in the Bunny plains, ಇದು animals ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಏನು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. One more thing is, Bunny Plain is known for certain cattle herders recently who were in news, called as Maldhari community anta kariti. Maldhari. Hope you have heard of it. Right? These are the cattle herders in this Bunny region who make use of the grasslands, taking their livestock. And again, Gujarat is also known for the swimming camels. This region is known for swimming camels because in Kutch region alli ಎರಡು ವಿಷಯ ಇದೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎರಡು ವಿಷಯ ಇದೆ. Mangroves, they are known for mangroves. Hope you are taking it down. They are known for mangroves. They are also known for coral reefs. So Run of Kutch is a very, very important area strategically, economically, ecologically, in terms of human settlements. You name it, we have all those aspects here. So I'm just giving some importance to it. Okay, hope you got the idea. And even Gujarat anta bandaga, it is known for Camel Fest is in Rajasthan. Camel Fest Pushkar, if you are talking about Pushkar, right? That is there. But this one is Gujarat we are talking about. Gujarat alli, again, this is also a place wherein, what else you can add, is also a place wherein we have the population of the Asiatic lions. ಅದೆಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬನ್ನಿ ಪ್ಲೇನ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬನ್ನೀಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿಡೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. ಗಿರ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್, ಆ ಗಿರ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ದ ಸೌತ್ ಆಫ್ ಬನ್ನಿ, ಇಫ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ರಾಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇದು ಬನ್ನಿ ಪ್ಲೇನ್ಸ್, ಇದು ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಇದು ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಒಂದು ಪೆರಿಫರಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಡಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, VIDI. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಸ್ ವಿ ನೋ ದಟ್ ಏಷಿಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಲಯನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಫೌಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ಗುಜರಾತ್. Okay, done. Where exactly? In the grasslands. Which grassland we are talking about? Vidi grassland, which is a significant grassland region near the Bunny region. So ille enagutte andre idu salt marsh, illi coastal region ide, salt marsh region ide, then we have very arid region here, right, which is actually bordering Rajasthan over in the north. So this is a very prominent area in terms of many things, from the view perspective of many things. Hope you got an idea, some points to remember. Okay, so idella chikka vishayagalla neevu connect ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ question ನೋಡಿದಾಗ. So for you it will be easy to answer as well. Okay, now we'll speak about one more place which was recently in news. Nikitin Sea Mount anta news alli ittu. This is regarding sea mount in the Indian Ocean. The question can be asked. ಈಗ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಓಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾದ ಒಂದು ಐಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸಿ ಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಲುಕಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಇಟ್. ಸೊ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಚೈನಾ ಥ್ರೆಟ್, ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಜಾಯಿನ್ಸ್ ರೇಸ್ ಟು ಮೈನ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಸಿ ಪ್ಯಾಚ್. So files application with the International Seabed Authority for rights to explore two vast tracts in Indian Ocean seabed that aren't parts of its jurisdiction. Actually, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬೇಕು. There is something called as International Seabed Authority. International Seabed Authority ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, every country which has its coastal line, there is a certain limit, or rather we would say 12 nautical miles ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ನಾವೇನು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಝೋನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಝೋನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ರೀತಿಯಾದ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ನ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಅಪ್. ಬಿಯಾಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ನೋ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಅಥವಾ ಹೈ ಸೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ವೇರ್ ಇನ್ that is being monitored by an authority. UN clause ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಕೇಳ್ತೀರಲ್ವಾ, UN clause, United Nations Convention on Law of Seas. ಯಾಕೆಂತಂದ್ರೆ just because Indian Ocean, India cannot access it and rest cannot, or ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಲಿಮಿಟೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಈ ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕಾನ್ಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ನ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, there will be no conflict. Yet there are insider things also, but I'm telling on the surface. So International Seabed Authority, any country which has this coastal region, because of the UN countries, UN nation grouping ಗಳಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, they should be applying for whether they can take up any deep sea mining ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, extraction of minerals ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ತಗೊಬೇಕು. ಯಾವಾಗ ಅದು ಜುರಿಸ್ಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲದಿದ್ದಾಗ. ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಅದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಝೋನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾಗ there is no need of permission because already it is given to them. That is part of India's exclusive economic zone. Hope you are getting it. ಈಗ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಫೈಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಇನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ to explore or whatsoever. It has not started, just filed an application. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಈ ಜಾಗ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. So we should be knowing it. Which is that place India is interested in, and why is India is interested? Because India is sensing the China's threat in this region. Already it is happening from many years, right? In the Indian Ocean, many islands, all the Indian Ocean islands, be it Maldives, be it Mauritius, be it Chagos, be it Agalega Island, be it Seychelles, ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಜಾಗಗಳಲ್ಲೂ there is a very evident or evidently the presence of China. So that is seen, and India has to take its own precautions. That is why India has applied. Now we will look into it. So India has submitted this seeking exploration rights for the Afanasi-Nikitin seamount. Afanasi-Nikitin seamount ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು Indian Ocean ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. You can see here in the Indian Ocean region, where it is mostly proximate to Indonesia. Also, Sri Lanka is more closer to that than in India, we can consider. So this decision, partly influenced by Chinese presence in the region, seeks to secure strategic resources. If Chinese is already doing it, because Chinese is also, Hambantota anta ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿರಬಹುದು. China ಬರೀ Indian Ocean island ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ, Sri Lankadallu ಇದ್ರದ್ದು presence ಇದೆ. So that is the reason India has taken up this. So the ANC Mount, the Nikitin Seamount, situated approximately 3,000 kilometers from India's coastline. It is abundant in cobalt, nickel, manganese, and copper deposits. So if anybody else is doing it, especially China ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕಂತ India apply ಮಾಡಿದೆ application. ಅದರ application ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ. Okay. So ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಈ Nikitin Seamount ಯಾವ ಓಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ಅದ್ರ ಲೊಕೇಶನ್ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ. So why India is taking it up for exploration. So some of the key points, some more factual points you can see. The ANC Mount, spanning 400 kilometers in length and 150 kilometers in width, is a geological formation situated in the central Indian basin, approximately 3,000 kilometers distant from India's coastline. So rising from an oceanic depth of around 4,800 meters, it ascends to a height of about 4,200 meters. ಈಗ ಸಿ ಮೌಂಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಮೌಂಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಮೌಂಟೇನ್. So there is an upliftment of some landform that is evident, wherein the countries can take it up. So the definition of seamount is seamounts, underwater mountains created by volcanic activity, are renowned as hotspots for marine life. And the seamounts andre ಏನು? Underwater mountains. As we have mountains on the continental part, we also have in the oceanic crust. We know that we have volcanoes on the land, we have volcanoes under the sea. There is much more under the sea that one can say it, right? So ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಅಂಡಮಾನ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಲಕ್ಷದ್ವೀಪ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, coral origin island, right? Or mountains, or Andaman is a volcanic erupted or volcanic origin mountain ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಾರನೆ. So in the entire ocean we have such formation. So sea mount ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಂಡರ್ವಾಟರ್ ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕಟ್ಕೊಬಹುದು. ಅಂಡರ್ವಾಟರ್ ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಅದು ಹಾಟ್ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮರೀನ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಹಾಟ್ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮರೀನ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ವೈ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ಸ್? Can you tell me? Why does it matter? Especially inside the ocean, ಯಾಕೆ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? Yes. Because these volcanic mountains or volcanic, whichever region, whatsoever region, oozes out some of the main basic minerals inside the ocean, wherein ಈ minerals na synthesize ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ we'll be having certain bacteria over there. That is where the life or the food chain begins. ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ nutrients ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ food chain ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Food chain ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is a very good hotspots for marine life. So marine life ಇದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ nutrients ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, so obviously it is a potential source for various other minerals what other countries are looking for, right? So this is the thing. So here you can consider this as places in news or India's strategic approach, and until we receive this permission from the International Seabed Authority. This remains same, but look at the location and know about it. This is what we have in the in this region. I mean, in the geographical part, we'll take some 5 minutes break. I'll continue with the rest of the topics. Okay, we'll come back after the break. let's resume. Okay. So next topic is Plastic Waste Management Amendment Rules 2024. The latest what we had was 2022. Some amendment rules only we had. So there is a difference between amendment rules and just plastic waste management rules. So when we say 2016 rules, the major changes will be brought. Amendment means already the foundational aspect will be all same. Only in certain terminology, certain changes will be made. That's all. Okay. So let's see what is this latest. And usually when it comes to set of rules, right? It may be plastic waste management rules. It can be e-waste management rules or solid waste management rules, biomedical waste management rules. So set of all waste management rules, ಅಥವಾ battery waste ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. So ಇದೆಲ್ಲಾನು ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಇಂದ ನೋಟಿಫೈ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. MOEFCC, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, ಅದರಿಂದ ನೋಟಿಫೈ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯಲ್ಲ, ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಏನು, it has to go through a constitutional procedure for when it comes to act amendment ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ. ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ನೋಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ from time to time, because what crisis or plastic crisis or what you call as the trouble what we had, problems what we had in 1990s, today it is not the same. 1998 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ವಿ, ಅದನ್ನೇ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ it doesn't make any sense. So timely amendment changes are required. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾದ ಅಮೆಂಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ವರಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಲೈನ್, ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಮೆಂಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ. ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಆಗಿ UPSC ಏನಂತೂ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಏನು ಚೇಂಜಸ್, ಏನು ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ತಂದಿರುವಂತ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಏನು, ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಹೊಸ ವರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾರ, ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾರ, ಅಥವಾ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಹಾಕಿದಾರ, ಅಥವಾ ಏನಾದ್ರು ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾರ, ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು. ಅಂಡ್ ವೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾದ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ನ ಪಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್, ಈ ವರ್ಡ್ ಯಾವ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮುಂಚೆನೂ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದಲ್ದ ಇದ್ರೆ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ಬಯೋಡಿಗ್ರೇಡಬಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್, ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ಎನಿ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್, ಎನಿ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ this for this particular concept. Now we will see regarding the rules as of now. Okay. So the rules have been defined under by introducing making some changes for plastic waste management rules 2016. So 2000 yawaga for the very first time namge plastic waste management rules bantu, when it all started, if you can tell me. The plastic waste management and handling rules started somewhere in 2011. Okay, 2011 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಈಗ 2011 ತನಕ ನಮಗೆ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ವಾ? ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಯಾವ ರೂಲ್ಸ್, ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ವಾ? ನಾಟ್ ನೆಸೆಸರಿಲಿ. ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಗೋ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಲೈನ್, 1998 ಇಂದನೇ ಇತ್ತು. But it was not called as plastic waste management handling rules as such. So ee rules na navenanta kariತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ recycled plastic usage rules, recycled plastic manufacture rules, ಅಥವಾ plastic manufacture rules, ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಕರೀತದೆ. So more importance was given for recycling and manufacturing and all that. ಅಷ್ಟೇ, waste ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. Get an understanding now. Okay, so ಈ waste management ನಾವ್ ಯಾಕೆ 2011 ಇಂದ we start studying about waste management rules, because ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆನೂ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಆ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ್ದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ರೀಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತ ಕ್ರೈಸಿಸ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಹೇಗೆ ನಾವು ಈ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ನ ಟ್ಯಾಕಲ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಈ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ನ ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಫ್ರಮ್ 2011. ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ 2011, 2016, 2018, then 2021, 2022, 2024 ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಅಮೆಂಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಯು ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಲೈನ್. ಹೋಪ್ ಯು ಗಾಟ್ ದಿ ಐಡಿಯಾ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲನು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ದೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ some terms included or some rules that will be brought. Let's see what is the amendment now. So these amendments represent a notable initiative to combat plastic pollution in India with a specific focus on microplastics. So ಈಗ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತ ಅಮೆಂಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಯಾವ್ದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ what do you call microplastics mele. So I'm sure that you might have heard about the concept of microplastics. We are talking about, when we say microplastics, it is 1 micron or milli size, the ranging that is 1/1000th of the millimeter, very small, right? So microplastics agirbodu. Plastics basically are a trouble, but microplastics are even more quite a trouble, we can say. So ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಒಂದು microplastics ಮೇಲೆ. Then, stricter criteria have been established for biodegradable plastics as part of these changes. Iga, plastic andre, it is not biodegradable, everybody knows. It sounds like an oxymoron, alva? Biodegradable plastic. Plastic biodegradable agutta? Biodegrade agutta? When you throw paper plastic cup in a particular place, after 100 years, if you are alive, if you can be mortal to that extent, come and see. ಆ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಕಪ್ ಹಾಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೇರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ನಾಟ್ ಮಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಬಯೋಡಿಗ್ರೇಡೇಬಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅನ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಮೋರನ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತ ಏನೋ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಡಿಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಬಯೋಡಿಗ್ರೇಡಬಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Okay, so still biodegradable plastic allunu ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ certain limitations ಇದೆ. So it is not that the one stop solution for plastic waste. Till now ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು we do not have any master stroke solution for plastic waste. That you have to keep in mind. So of course plastics are indispensable part of our lives, no doubt in it. Likewise, plastic waste is also such. So we are finding some alternatives, some ideas wherein we can reduce the intensity. ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೀವಿ, ರೀಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಅಪ್ಸೈಕಲ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ರೀಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. We cannot stop plastic manufacturing because we are dependent on it. So it is like kind of a juxtapose condition. So we will see what are biodegradable. So ಒಂದು criteria set ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಹೊಸ rules. Biodegradable plastics are now described as materials capable of breaking down through biological process in certain environments such as soil, landfills, leaving no microplastics behind. Plastics degrade ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Degrade ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, these broken down plastics will turn into microplastics. ಈಗ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ನ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ 2 ಟೈಪ್ಸ್. ನಿಮ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಥರ್ಮೋಸೆಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಥರ್ಮೋಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಥರ್ಮೋಸೆಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮತ್ತು ಥರ್ಮೋಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ನೇಚರ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬಹುದು. ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ವರ್ಜಿನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಪೆಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಮೇಕ್ ಇಟ್, ಪಾಲಿಮರ್ಸ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಇಂದ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತದ್ದು. So there are various categories, various classification based on various parameters. So ಆ ರೀತಿ ಸೈಜ್ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬಹುದು ನಾವು, ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬಹುದು, ರೈಟ್? ಡಿಗ್ರೇಡೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಕಂಪೋಸ್ಟಬಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಬಯೋಡಿಗ್ರೇಡಬಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನಾವು biodegradable plastics, remember they are capable to break down in the various aspects of environment and end up as nutrients, but not end up as microplastic or biodegradable. Microplastics are defined as solid plastic particles that are insoluble in water, ranging in size from 1 micron to 1000 microns, very tiny size. So microplastics bagge, I think in class also we have discussed, or some new batch we will be discussing. And when it comes to microplastics in the bandaga, in our daily life, we have that application, right? In the scrubbers, in the industrial scrubbers, in the nodules. Even same examples na class allo kottidini, athwa I'm just repeating. You have this facial scrubs or toothpaste or hair gel and all that has tiny nodules. Nodirtiralva? So very, what do you call as, especially in scrubbers, scrubballi nodirtiri. So idu ಅದು ಟೂತ್ ಪೇಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಟೈನಿ ಫ್ಲೇಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಜೆಲ್ಲಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಟ್ ಲುಕ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ನೈಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್, ಬಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ what do you call as degrade, biodegrade, or what happens to that? Nothing happens to that. You will use it on your skin, it just flows away. There is no dissolving or insolubility, nothing will be there. So now we are focusing on our facial wash or whatever it is, but nodules they get just drained away. and they are the microplastics again which end up in the drain or drainage and river and then sea, then fishes, and then they come back to us if at all you are eating fishes. So ಇದನ್ನ ಈ ಚೈನ್ ನ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ ಇದು ಮರೀನ್ ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ಗೂ ಕಾರಣ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ಮೈಕ್ರೋಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಮುಂಚೆ we were just focusing on plastic. ಈಗ we're focusing on microplastic. Okay, ಇದು basic takeaway from the article. We will see the highlights. ಈಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ತಂದಿದೆ. So the updated rules define biodegradable plastics as materials capable of biological degradation in environments like soil, landfills without leaving behind microplastics. So let us look into this. So you can be, you can connect it well. So oxy-bio, ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, biodegradable plastics ಅಲ್ಲಿ the way that is manufactured will make the plastic to wear and tear. No doubt in it. Let me give you an example. ಈಗ ನಾವು ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಈಗ ಗಾರ್ಬೇಜ್ ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಿ ಡಿಗ್ರೇಡೆಡ್? ಡಿಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ? ನೋಡಿದಿರಲ್ವಾ ಅಥವಾ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಿರಲ್ವಾ? The compost bags what we use, compostable bags ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಬೋದು, biodegradable bags ಅಂತಾನು ಅನ್ಬೋದು. ಅದು ಬಯೋಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸಾಲಿಡ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಈ ಬ್ಲೂ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್, ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ವಾ, what happens to them? How they should be treated? So definition anta bandaga, these are the materials which can be degraded through biological processes without ending in landfill or soil. Adre innondide compostable plastic anta. Compostable plastic anta bandaga, they are designed to biodegrade, haudu, but adanna degrade ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ವೇ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಈಗ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಟೂ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್, ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಬಯೋಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್, biodegradable plastic, one is compostable plastic. ನಾವೇನು ಈ ಗಾರ್ಬೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಬಯೋಡಿಗ್ರೇಡಬಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ನ ನೀವು ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಅದು ವೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಎಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಓಪನ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿದ್ರು ಈ ವೇರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೇರ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಅದು ಡಿಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಯೋಲಾಜಿಕಲಿ, ಯಾಕೆ ನಾವೀಗ ಬಯೋಲಾಜಿಕಲಿ ಡಿಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಯಾವ್ದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ವೇರ್ ಇನ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ದಮ್ ಡೌನ್, ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಏನು ಡಿಕಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಆ ರೀತಿ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ದೇ ಎಂಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಇನ್ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ and the plants thrive. So basically no trouble at all. So we are switching to this now. Adre compostable plastic alli enagutte antare, of course it will biodegrade, no trouble with that. Waste kammi agutte. Adre adanna appropriate way alli compost madilla anta andre, that will lead to again one more problem of ending up in landfill, polluting the soil, polluting the water, etc. So idanna ನಾವು compostable ಕಂಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅದು ಮತ್ತು ಬಯೋಡಿಗ್ರೇಡಬಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇರುವಂತ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಈಗ when it comes to manufacture cost or the what do you call as people who are readily accepting, or whether they are accepting it, ಅದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಿಮಾಂಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಈ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ತಂದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ, ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾದ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ತಂದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿ ಓರಲಿ ಸೇ ಓಕೆ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಫ್ರಮ್ ಟುಡೇ ಯೂಸ್ biodegradable plastic, nobody bothers, right? Under plastic waste management rules in the past, what all happened? Today we do not see plastic cups, we less likely to see plastic spoons. Ella replace madide alva, wooden spoons, paper cups, it has been replaced. Why? Because of the mandate of the rules. So it takes time. But today we are looking into ಏನು changes ತಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. Hope you got the idea of biodegradable plastic. Okay, it can biodegrade even in the absence of industrial process. Microplastics ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. However, the rules do not specify, ಅದೊಂದು ಲಿಮಿಟೇಷನ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, which chemical test can confirm the absence of microplastic or the threshold of the microplastic reduction in a sample. So ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. That is a trouble in every rules acts ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, absence of definition, lack of definition ಅಂತ. So according to the amendment, carry bags and commodities can be made from compostable or biodegradable plastics, subject to mandatory marking and labeling requirements set by the rules and FSSAI regulations for food contact application. So one thin line of difference I've already told you, biodegradable plastic ige industrial process ಬೇಡ degrade ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ, but still it will degrade. Similarity ಏನು, ಎರಡು degrade ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೇಕು, ಕಂಪೋಸ್ಟಬಲ್ ಗೆ, ಬಯೋಡಿಗ್ರೇಡಬಲ್ ಗೆ ಬೇಡ. That's the difference. ಸೊ ಅದ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟರಿ ಮಾರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಲೇಬಲಿಂಗ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, FSSAI ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಫುಡ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್, ಫುಡ್ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಫುಡ್ ಪ್ಯಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದನೂ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾಂಪೋಸ್ಟಬಲ್ ಆರ್ ಬಯೋಡಿಗ್ರೇಡಬಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಒಬ್ಟೈನ್ ಅ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ CPCB. ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಯು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಯಾವುದೇ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್, ಯಾವುದೇ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್, ಲೈಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ಅದು ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್, that is the main authority, apex authority, top authority. Remember that. Manufacturers must also ensure processing of pre-consumer plastic waste generated during the manufacturing and report to the relevant state pollution control board or pollution control committee. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಆಯ್ತು ನಾವು ಬಯೋಡಿಗ್ರೇಡಬಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ನಮ್ದೊಂದು ಕಂಪನಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಿರ್ತೀವಲ್ವಾ, ಆ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ನ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಅದನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಹೇಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಆ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ನು ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ನೈಸ್ ಟು ಸಿ ಇನ್ ದ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್. ಆದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲನು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಕಂಪನಿಗೂ ಬೋರ್ಡ್, ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್, ದೇ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆಂಟ್ ವಿಸಿಟ್ಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಮೇಕ್ ಅ ವಿಸಿಟ್, ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಪೀನಲೈಸ್ಡ್, ಲೈಸೆನ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ they have mandated it. So it is up to the integrity of the company to take up it. So idu ಒಂದು recent agi bandiruvanthaddu. So the entire crux, the summary of this topic is what we are discussing. You have to collect more information on what are biodegradable plastics. Maybe adanna mains allo kelbodu, it is a very elaborate thing, or maybe remotely ello relate agiruvanta plastic baggenu kelbodu. Okay, again plastics are important in a way, and how they ask we never know, but we should be on the safer side to know about it. Idu amendment rules. Okay, now we speak about species in news, that is Great Indian Bustard was recently in news. We will look into it. So yen news enantandre, Supreme Court formed an expert committee to address the conservation of the endangered Great Indian Bustard. It is critically endangered. So the expert committee form madide anta news alli ide, but we will be focusing on Great Indian Bustard. ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಬಸ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ 2 ಸಲ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಅನ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್, one of the options in the questions, at least twice it's been asked. If you look by the options part, the region wise antandre there are indirect questions are asked, but let us not take a chance. We should be knowing everything and anything about this bird, because throughout the year we see about this. Okay, so the committee aims to balance conservation efforts with India's commitments to renewable energy. So why is this committee formed? We know that the most prominent reason for the decline of this bird is, yake ee bird critically endangered agide, only few hundreds are left. What is the reason for this? The main reason is collision with electrical lines, high powered cables alva. Hanganta ಆಯ್ತು ನಾವು ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಬಸ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ನ ಕಾಪಾಡಬೇಕು, so let us all remove high powered power cables. Is that a feasible solution? So ecological conservation and economical development has to go hand in hand. No other way out. So ಈ committee frame ಮಾಡಿರೋದೇ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ, to bring up the balance, bring down a balance between these two. You cannot let go any of this here. That's the reason, right? So Great Indian Bustards face extinction due to collisions with high powered power cables near their habitats in Gujarat and Rajasthan. So basically, where is the habitat of Great Indian Bustard antanu barutte? We know that. So Great Indian Bustard is the state bird of Gujarat or Rajasthan? Great Indian Bustard, the state bird of Rajasthan. Okay, but it is also found in Gujarat. Don't get confused, right? So these are the habitats. So a 3-judge bench led by again our Chief Justice of India, D.I. Chandrachud, stated that a previous blanket direction from the Apex Court in April 2019 regarding undergrounding power cables needed recalibration. Andre 2019 alli ಒಂದು report bantu Apex Court when before this person was CJI. 2019 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಎಪೆಕ್ಸ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಇಂದ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಇಂದ ಅಂಡರ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಪವರ್ ಕೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಪವರ್ ಕೇಬಲ್ಸ್, ವಿಲ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಅ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್? ಅದನ್ನು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತಾನು ಇದೆ ಈ ಕಮಿಟಿಲಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ರೀಕ್ಯಾಲಿಬ್ರೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲುಕ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಇಟ್, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಲುಕ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಇಟ್, ರಿವ್ಯೂ ಇಟ್ ಅಂತಾನು ಒಂದು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ yes, they get collided with electrical lines and they are dying and the population is declining, understood, but these are also ground dwelling birds. they lay eggs on the grounds, and they mostly walk on the grasslands than flying, right? So you have to take the nuances of the news wherein, I mean, the concept wherein how it can be tackled. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಕಮಿಟಿ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಕೊಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ರೀಕ್ಯಾಲಿಬ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಮೋರ್ ಓವರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬರ್ಡ್, it is not flightless, it does travel, it does migrate also, it walks, it flies and all that. So undergrounding power cables, is that a feasible solution, is a question mark now. Wish to news. Okay, so let's look into anything and everything about this bird. So when it comes to this bird, Ardiotis nigriceps, scientific name, India's most critically endangered bird and the state bird of Rajasthan. It serves as a flagship species. Hope you know about the flagship species, the concept of flagship. Flagship anta andre any species, any organisms or any organism symbolize or act as an icon for a particular conservation initiative, organization, program, etc. Yes. A giant panda for WWF. I think this have been explained, but I'm just repeating. Particular place na signify ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಒಂದು animal ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ bird ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ anything that is we called as flagship. Himalayan region ದು flagship species ಯಾವುದು? In Himalayas, if you consider one prominent animal, ಇದಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು Himalayas ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ we can call snow leopard. Snow leopard ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಾ? Snow leopard is a flagship species of Himalayan region. Sundarban, tiger is the flagship of Sundarban region. So Great Indian Bustard is a flagship of grassland ecology. The grass ecosystem agirbodu, jagagalu, region agirbodu. So indicate the health of, or Arctic region, polar bear, likewise. Health of the grassland. As long as these Great Indian Bustards are there in the grassland, that will signify the health of the grassland. So health of the grassland do matter for the other ungulates. Ungulates in the sense, the herbivores ko matter agutte. So if they are there, andre grassland healthy ide anta artha. So adakkoskara they are indicator species also, we can say. So majority of its population is found in Rajasthan and Gujarat. And also please do remember, not only these two places, Maharashtra, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh as well. Down south, these are the places. Not in any other state. Rajasthan, Gujarat, maybe in the, what do you call it, let's look into this map also, so that if you can see this. So main agi Rajasthan alli, Maharashtra, Karnataka region alli ide, some pockets of Andhra Pradesh. Idu illi tanka survey agirodu distribution ide, present distribution ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. Previous distribution ಇತ್ತು ನೋಡಿ, ತಮಿಳುನಾಡು, ಆಂಧ್ರ ಪ್ರದೇಶ್, ಛತ್ತೀಸ್ಗಢ, ಒಡಿಶಾದಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇತ್ತು ಮುಂಚೆ, ಇವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತದ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ, which is darker part. Okay, some part of Madhya Pradesh, some part of Rajasthan, mostly Rajasthan, down south alli ishtu jagagalli. So remember the state names. Okay, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh. So IUCN, they are critically endangered. The protection status we are talking about, sites alli appendix 1, CMS allu appendix 1, Wildlife Protection Act allu schedule 1. So all the schedule 1 appendix 1 anta andre what do you call, protection is stronger or intense. Iga convention on migratory species anta bandaga, adu migration ತಗೊಳ್ಳುವಂತ the animals or the organisms which take up migration. ಈ Great Indian Bustard migrate ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾ? Can we call it as a migratory bird? Does it look like a migratory bird? ಎಲ್ಲಿ migrate ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಅದು? Migrate ಆದ್ರೂ that is where we decide. Let me clarify this. Great Indian Bustards do migrate. ನಾವು ಮೈಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಆರ್ಟಿಕ್ ಇಂದ ಸೌತ್ ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾಗ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂಟಾರ್ಟಿಕ್ ಇಂದ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. Usually migration is like that in our mind, all right, or several thousands of kilometers on like elephants or like turtles anta. Migration can be from one country to another country, one place to another place also. That is also migration. And especially countries anta consider ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ migration anta banದಾಗ. So Great Indian Bustards do migrate to Pakistan. So Pakistan, India, migratory path adadu. So that is why they are under Convention on Migratory Species, because these are migratory birds. Remember? Okay, please don't get confused. They do migrate. So you may never know. Basic information athwa itara factual information kelbodu. So that is what you have to know. And threats, habitat destruction, hunting yakandre they are easily available in the grasslands, very evident anta adakoskara. Okay, so this is what we have regarding Great Indian Bustard. State level projects ಇದೆ Great Indian Bustard project ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Then we have there are flashers that is attached, fireflies ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ, fly catches something related fireflies ಅಂತ, wherein it has been attached to the electrical lines. ಯಾವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಈ ಬರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅದ್ರ ಇನ್ನೇನ್ ಕೊಲೈಡ್ ಆಗಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಅದು ಫ್ಲಾಶ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ದೇ ಗೆಟ್ ಡಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್, ಸೊ ದೇ ಮೇಕ್ ಶೂರ್ ದಟ್ Great Indian Bustard will not get collided. So ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾದ ಒಂದು ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟಿವ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Then we have protected areas for their protection, for their conservation. Two important or prominent place. One is Desert National Park of, where do we have Desert National Park? In Rajasthan, and Kutch Sanctuary in Gujarat. ಇದೆರಡು ಜಾಗ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ for protected areas. ಅದರದ್ದು Wildlife Sanctuary National Parks ಗೆ ನಾವು protected areas ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. So Desert National Park in Rajasthan is known for the conservation of Great Indian Bustard, DNP. Then we have Kutch Sanctuary in Gujarat is also known for the conservation of the Great Indian Bustard. Prominent region ಇದೆರಡು ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ protected areas ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತು. Okay. And it is also largest land bird in India. It is also one of the heaviest flying bird in India. It grows up to 3 feet tall. These are the basic things. Okay. Then we'll move on to elephant rules. Recent elephants ಬಗ್ಗೆ news alittu. We'll look into it. Captive elephant transfer or transport rules 2024. ಈಗ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು act ತಕ್ಕ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಲ್ಲ. We are talking about this topic as rules. Rules ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ the government will introduce it under the ministry, under already established act. So rules ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಟೈಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇದನ್ನ ರೋಲ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ನೋಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಿವ್ ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ 2024. ವೈ ದಿಸ್ ಕೇಮ್ ಅಪ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್? ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಅಮೆಂಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಓದಿದೀವಿ, ಇಫ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಡನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು. ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್, ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So there is a permission given by the government to the elephant owners. That is, we are talking about the individuals who have kept elephant under captivity for religious purpose, for logging, for what do you call as other transportation purpose, etc. With certification, of course. Avaru certificate of ownership na transfer ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಮುಂಚೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. There is no selling and buying of elephants, no. And also transferring of the ownership. Now, once one person, he has to take the burden of it. ಆ ರೀತಿ ಇತ್ತು. But government ಅದನ್ನ ಅಮೆಂಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ತಂದು ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ತಂದು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಚೇಂಜಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾರಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಟಿಸೈಸ್ಡ್ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ WPA, ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್. ಸೊ maybe we can call it this as a clarification. Let's look into it. Any changes bandide. So the central government has introduced the captive elephant transfer or transport. Transfer ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, if I own an elephant, I'm transferring the ownership to the other person. Transport ಅಂದ್ರೆ maybe from one state to another, one place to another, we are literally transporting it. Adukkunu restrictions ide, which relax the condition for transferring or transporting elephants within or between the states. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ changes ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ rules ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Captive elephants owned and managed by humans serve various purposes like forest management, timber transport, religious events, and entertainment. Entertainment is less likely to happen in India. Circus ಎಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, but already if there was a permission taken and it was given by the government long back before the amendment and all that, it is still there, provided they are treated well. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ in India, Project Elephant is not only for the wild elephants, it is also for captive elephants. It is also for the elephants which are in reserve forest. It is also for the elephants which are in temples. Elephants ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ elephants ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ because it is a wild animal. But unfortunately, during the British time, elephants ನಾವು elephant ನ cattle ಅನ್ನೋ definition ಕೆಳಗೆ ತಂದಿದ್ವಿ. ಈಗ donkey, horse, cat, sorry, what do you call as cow, ox ಇದ್ರ ಕೆಳಗೆ elephant join ಆಗಿತ್ತು. Because elephants were used in warfare, elephants were in the palaces or everywhere, wherever they can tame it and use it, domesticate it. But today we have given the title of it is our national heritage animal, and we have a number of initiatives for this, right? Yes. So they differ from wild elephants and are governed by regulations for their welfare and handling. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು separate set of rules ಇದೆ. ಇದು ಈಗ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತ ರೂಲ್ಸ್. Let's look into the changes or the crux, highlight some key points. So captive elephants regulated by the Wildlife Protection Act are classified as Schedule 1, prohibiting their capture or trade except for specific reasons. Specific reasons andre enu? Maybe an untamed elephant, a berserk elephant attacking agricultural areas, attacking people. There are some reasons, or on that grounds they will capture it. They can tranquilize, sedate it and all that. It is highly protected. It is Schedule 1 animal, right? So previously, strict rules governed the transfer of captive elephants under the Wildlife Protection Act with permission required from Chief Wildlife Warden. ಮುಂಚೆ ಏನಿತ್ತು, ಹಳೇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಿವ್ ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ ನ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಓನರ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಟೆಂಪಲ್ ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಟೆಂಪಲ್ಗೆ ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ ಬೇಕು. ಆ ಟೆಂಪಲ್ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಓನರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಬೇರೆ ಟೆಂಪಲ್ಗೆ ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಚೀಫ್ ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಲೈಫ್ ವಾರ್ಡನ್, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ಡ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಚೀಫ್ ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಲೈಫ್ ವಾರ್ಡನ್, ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ಅಥಾರಿಟಿ in the state government. This authority is responsible for all the activities in the protected areas plus these kind of permission and all that. So chief wildlife warden. So this person has to, or this authority has to give the permission. The updated rules now allow transfers when the owner can't maintain the elephant or for better upkeep as deemed fit by the chief wildlife warden. ಈಗ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟೆಡ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ, ಹೊಸ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಯಾವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಓನರ್ಸ್ ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ ನ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನಾಟ್ ಅಫೋರ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ an economic loss. What can we do? What if the elephant dies? That person is responsible because you did not take care of it unless it is for natural reason. So problem ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, right? Ill treatment of the elephants ಅಂತ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. So it is an offense, wildlife offense ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So chief wildlife warden ಫಿಟ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ, timely treatments and all that, checkups and all that has to be done. And ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ, ಈಗ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ನನ್ಗೆ ನೋಡಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, it is already deceased elephant and some trouble is there, I'm selling it to someone, ಆ ತರ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ. It is checked whether it is fit enough to survive in another environment ಅಂತಾನು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. That is looked upon by chief wildlife warden. Then health and habitat suitability assessments are required before transfers within or between states with simplified permission for interstate transfer. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಹೋಗೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಇವಾಗ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಿಂದ ತಮಿಳ್ನಾಡಿಂದ ಆಂಧ್ರ ಪ್ರದೇಶ್, we are transferring it. Whether that habitat is good enough, suitable enough for this elephant ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ is giving a justification or a clarification now, because it drew criticism as I told you. So we are selling off elephants. They're not doing that. So this is it. So some of the highlights of the new rules. Let's see. Requirement for elephant transfer. ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಇರಬೇಕು ಒಂದು ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, the elephant must be accompanied by a mahout and an elephant assistant. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬಿಡೋದಲ್ಲ, because that elephant is they are like a sentient beings. They are attached to the person who takes care of it and feeds them and all that. And definitely there will be an elephant assistant or a mahout. Then only elephant transfer can be done. A health certificate from a veterinary practitioner confirming fitness for transport. Travel ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ is it fit enough ಅಂತ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಬೇಕು. Transport should occur after the completion of any required quarantine period of contagious diseases. Already ಅದಕ್ಕೆ disease ಆಗಿದೆ and people are ready to sell it or buy it or whatever it is. A quarantine period ಆದ ನಂತರ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅದನ್ನ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, because the other elephants might get affected there. Proper feeding and watering arrangements must be made during transport, under better treatment. Tranquilizer sedatives shall be used to control nervous or temperamental elephants upon prescription by the veterinary practitioner. Tranquilizer sedatives are not used unless they are okay, unless they are ready to transport or they are okay to travel. I mean, looking at the condition fit enough, tranquilizers, sedatives, drugs ಎಲ್ಲ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. If at all they are nervous, they are temperamental, there is a chance of attack and all that, under the prescription ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು tranquilize ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Okay, so within the state ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, before a transfer within the state, the elephant's health must be confirmed by a veterinarian. Within the state ಆದ್ರೂ ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ವೆಟರ್ನರಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Suitability of both the current and prospective habitats must be verified. ಯಾರಿಂದ? DCF ಇಂದ. Look at this. The certification, transport, permission ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೀಫ್ ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಲೈಫ್ ವಾರ್ಡನ್ ಇಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾರು ಎರಡು ಸೂಟಬಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಂತ ಯಾರು ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ? DCF ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ. DCF is equivalent to district magistrate in the district, right? He takes care of, or he or she has the authority to take care of a wildlife protected area in that particular division. Wildlife division ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ DCF ಗೆ. So ಅವ್ರು ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ ಈ habitat ನ within the state ಆದಾಗ. Okay. Approval or rejection of the transfer is at the discretion of the chief wildlife warden based on this assessment. Chief wildlife warden reject ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ transfer na, nothing can be done. It will be illegal if it is done. Outside the state ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, same condition, whatever it is there for inside the state. ಒಂದೇನು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, the elephant's genetic profile must be registered with MOFCC before the transfer. ಈಗ what is this genetic profile? ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗೆ ನಾವು ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೈಲ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಅಥವಾ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಎಸ್ DNA ಪ್ರೊಫೈಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ವೆರಿ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ದಿಸ್. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ವೆದರ್ ಯು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, ವೆರಿ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್, ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್ 1 year. DNA ಪ್ರೊಫೈಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ DNA ಪ್ರೊಫೈಲಿಂಗ್? ಯಾಕೆ ಬೇಕದು? ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಯಾವ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತು ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ, ಆನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಟು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ದೆಮ್, ರೈಟ್? ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಂಗ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇವ್ರು ಅಂತ. ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸಲ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, there are many times this has happened in India. Okay, so it is an irony wherein inspection ಗೆ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ, ಅಥವಾ ಎಷ್ಟು ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು ಮುಂಚೆ, we have 15 elephants. How many are there now? 15 only. How do you show it? Bring back the same elephant and make them stand. Okay, ಇದೆ 15ನೇ ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್. ಆ ಒಂದೇ ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ ಪುನಃ ತಂದು 15ನೇ ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಡೋದು. Because identification will be very difficult when there are too many elephants. There is a chance for that. So Indian government has brought up a new rule wherein there is something called as DNA profiling. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ ಯಾವ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಿವ್ ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅದರದ್ದು DNA ಪ್ರೊಫೈಲ್ ಒಂದು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಇದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ if at all they are doing this mishaps, right? Some fraud or some illegal trafficking ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. So they might show the same thing. So ಅದಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು. Under the which has to be registered with MOFCC. ಆದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗೆ ನಾವು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Hope you got the point. Okay, these are the highlights. Why am I taking this conceptual, I mean more elaborately? Because ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಗೆ, ಒಂದು ನೆಗೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಗೆ, ಏನೋ ಒಂದು, ಈಗ somebody says that okay, government is allowing for the what do you call as elephant transfers. ಏನಾದ್ರ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಏನು? What are the requirements? What are the procedure? What are the rules and regulations that you must be knowing? Some lame remarks can be done, but I keep reminding you that you are entering into government. You are going to be a bureaucrat, and your explanation should be technical, procedural, and according to the rules. Not some lewd remarks or lame remarks wherein you say, okay, government is doing this, it's bad for elephant, done. No. Always know your facts well. Be grounded with the facts. That is why we are going through this, wherein low e information nimge questions alli help ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ. Okay. Adbittu I have just put up this so that when you receive the PDF you look into it. Andre because already there are questions asked on elephants in a different way. One other behavioral approach irbodu ಅಥವಾ behavior irbodu adella. So I'll just read it for you. The tool use, hege animals tools idu elephants tools na use ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ they can understanding the pointing, it seems like when you experiments have shown that they may understand pointing. So when you point somewhere, they would look at, they would see that is their smartness, and these are one of the smartest animals also. Cooperative problem solving, so they work together. Maybe a baby has fallen in the muddy water hole, they work together, teamwork is there. Empathy, when scientists have seen elephants helping others that were injured, pulling out tranquilizing darts, spraying dust on others owned, because these are social animals, they have a hierarchy, so they do this. And grief, you might have seen or watched or heard or read, you know that when the elephants die in the entire, the herd, they mourn for it, for the dead companions, by touching the body and staying close and observing silence. This is all, wonderful things they do, and much more than this. So why we should know it? UPSC has taken that path of taking some unique characteristics of animals and bringing that into question paper. So you should be knowing this. Okay. So this is what we have for elephant intelligence. I'll take up one more. That is cotton candy ಬಗ್ಗೆ news ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತು. Cotton candy ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಈಗ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬಹುದು. But what I say is, what we have seen in the past also, Bangalore ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಟನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿ ಮತ್ತು ಗೋಬಿ ಮಂಚೂರಿಯನ್ ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೌದಾ? You tell me, how many of you are gobi Manchurian lovers here? Why it is banned? Heard of this news? Banning spree nadita ide Karnatakadalli. Colors matrana? Okay. Specific colors ade. But the headlines read that okay, gobi if at all in the food, street food alli, a particular chemical adulterant or food colors use madidre fine anta anbittu alva. So when we say banning cotton candy ne ban ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಅಥವಾ ಗೋಬಿ ಮಂಚೂರಿಯನ್ ban ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ. What are you using there? If at all you are not finding an alternative, you are not supposed to sell it ಅಂತ. Yes. Okay, you are aware of it. Good. So ನಾವ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಓದಬೇಕು? Cotton candy, gobi Manchurian, whatever it is. Why should we read it? Because the question will be asked like this. They will be using certain terminologies in science and tech ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Some what do you call us? Some chemicals, some additives or adulterants list kottu, what are these? Or maybe drugs name kottu, what are these? What is it related to? Okay, which of the four? Or applications of it, or the alternatives of it. And this what we are experiencing in the local level. One should be knowing this. Okay, that's why we are learning about this topic. Remember. So recently, Himachal Pradesh imposed a 1-year ban on the production, sale, and storage of cotton candy or candy floss due to the discovery of rhodamine B. Even an example, rhodamine B, Ajinomoto, some coloring agents, some so and so, many red color or blue color, whatever it is, some list kottu. What are these? It refers to what? So, ಈ ಹೆಸರುಗಳನ್ನ ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೊಂದು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಬೇಕು, ಅಥವಾ ಇಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಫುಡ್ ಅಡಲ್ಟ್ರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು. That's why such news you have to pick up. Okay, selectively read it. So following the lead of states like Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Goa, Himachal Pradesh has enforced a ban on harmful coloring agents. So already idu past few weeks alittu, Tamil Nadu agirbodu, Goa agirbodu, Karnataka agirbodu. Cotton candy was a common thing here. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. Consumption of snacks containing these artificial colors may lead to long-term health hazards, including cancer. They are carcinogenic as well. That's why. So we will look into the highlights, key points. So rhodamine B is a cheap coloring agent used in industries like textiles and paper. Applications ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. It's sometimes added to street foods like gobi Manchurian and cotton candy for vibrant colors. The same thing is also added to gobi Manchurian. Hope you are getting it. So however, rhodamine B is unsafe to consume and can cause acute toxicity. While WHO doesn't label it as carcinogenic, some rat studies suggest they have potential cancer risk. WHO helilla, but it will lead to what do you call us? It not only for those who consume, those who are actually exposed in preparing it also. That also matters here. So the FSSAI has prohibited the use of rhodamine B in food products. FSSAI ಬಗ್ಗೆ question ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ UPSA ಒಂದ್ಸಲ. Basic question. ಅದರದ್ದು chief ಯಾರು, what is it, it comes under which ministry ಅಂತದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So we are focusing on FSSAI. For this reason, we have taken up this topic again. Any application of this chemical in food preparation, processing, or distribution is punishable under FSSAI Act as of now. Once it is brought in ministry ಅಥವಾ government ತಂದಾಗ, so the punishable ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ penalize ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. So remember the name of the adulterant, that is rhodamine B. Okay, so I'll just conclude with this because it's already, you will be having class, I guess, some classes you have after this. I just conclude with this. Okay. So FSSAI is an independent statutory body formed under the Food Safety and Standards Act of 2006. All might have, you all have seen this logo in all the food products, most of the food products. That means it is certified food anta artha alva, ನೀವು ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ ಇದನ್ನ, ಈ ಲೋಗೋನ. So this act consolidates various food related laws, including the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act of 1954. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು technical points ಅಷ್ಟೇ. I'll just read through. Its objective is to create a centralized authority for all matters related to food safety and standards, streamlining control from multiple levels to a single line of command. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ರೀತಿಯಾದ food safety ಮತ್ತು standards ಮೇಲೆ focus ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಈ set of rules. Okay, and it is a body, statutory body also. ಯಾಕೆ ಅದನ್ನ statutory body ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? Because it was established under the Act of 2006. So question ಏರಿತಿತ್ತು, it is under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು, but remember it is operating under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. ಯಾವ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಯಾವ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಒಂದು, it is headquartered in Delhi and we have various zones nationwide. And the chairperson, this was the second statement asked, yaar adradu director chairperson yaru anta kelidru. So chairperson and chief executive officer, CEO, are appointed by central government, holding a rank equivalent to secretary to the government of India. Secretary level alli yaar irtare avarna choose ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. It doesn't define a particular person or a position as such. So government will choose them, becoming the CEO of the zone or the branch or whatsoever. So this is what we have under FSSAI. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಲೋಕಲ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್, ಲೋಕಲ್ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಗುಡ್. ಎಲ್ಲ ಓದೋಂಥದ್ದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಲೆ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? So you should be knowing what is happening around you, that is there, and also an awareness kind of thing. And as there was a question asked on FSSAI, as there was a questions are asked on adult trends and drugs and chemical names and all that, that is why this has been brought up. And I have added the list of some of the synthetic colors all throughout here. You can take a look of it. All these are used. These are the names of the synthetic colors. ಇದು ಒಂದು ರೋಡಮೈನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೂ ನಾವು ಸಿಂಥೆಟಿಕ್ ಕಲರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಸೊ ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ, ಸಿಂಥೆಟಿಕ್ ಕಲರ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ, ಅಡಲ್ಟ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ, ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಇಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಒಂದು ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಕಲರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೋದು, ಕ್ಲೋರೋಫಿಲ್, ರೈಬೋಫ್ಲೇವಿನ್ ಅಂತದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ. You should be able to understand it. I mean, identify it. That is what you have been expected to do. Okay. So rest of the things too, on the places in news, on the world affairs on there, adu already PDF ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, which has to be explained. I explain here. Andre, apart from being the points which is given in the PDF, if there is a discussion, a conceptual clarity is given, you will remember. The ultimate aim of any classroom learning is you learn in the class. Listen and understand and learn in the class. That's the idea here. Okay. So PDF is shared. Please do ask once again, and I'll share this also as well. Okay. So any questions you have, you can ask, or else we'll wind up this session. Anything? Anything here on YouTube? Okay. Can we conclude the class? So thank you so much. We'll meet in the next class, whichever date. And yes, take care. Thank you so much.